So again, you want to learn to invest in real estate? Find out how here on the National Real Estate Cafe. So this week we've been talking about a few investor type tips. I'm doing this because Don's not around. He likes the homeowner stuff. I like the investor stuff. He likes the investor stuff too. Today we're going to focus on multifamily investments. Yesterday we talked a little bit about commercial investments. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about multifamily investments. And you ask yourself, why aren't we talking about single family investments? Well, we kind of missed that boat. It's a good time to buy a home for yourself, but it's not necessarily a great time to buy single-family investments. Let me tell you why multifamily investments have gotten really attractive just in the last 6 months. And this may change again in the next 2 months. In fact, I still like single-family investment between September and February, but that's a whole different show. So today, what we're going to look at is multifamily investment. And the reason that I think it's super important that we invest in multifamily right now is because interest rates have dropped significantly, but property values in multifamily haven't risen yet. Okay, so property values in commercial real estate, including multifamily, are much smoother. They're not as volatile as the price of single-family residences. So when you see a quick dip in interest rates like we've seen right now, you see a large increase in cap rates really quickly, and you need to strike very fast before the market adapts. So I think we're in a window right now where multifamily has a 1%, maybe 1.5% better yield over time than it normally does. And I know that doesn't sound tremendous, but you ask your financial planner if 1 to 1.5% over time on, let's call it a $1.5 to $3 million investment to $5 million investment, what that does compounding over time, it's magical, I promise you. So let's take a look at this article. So it says the key to finding multifamily investments, and as usual, we're using Mortgage Professionals of America as a source. And then what you see here is that local knowledge is important. Once again, if you want these articles, just reach out to Don and Gino. The local knowledge is super important, and let me tell you why. There's a couple of things that you don't know if you're not local. You don't know what the crime rate is like in a certain area. You don't know if there's new jobs being created in a certain area. You don't know what's happening in the next decade. And this is one of those things, when you're investing in multifamily, you can't think about 2 years. You have to have a 10-year vision for this property. It's very difficult to flip multifamily because, again, the cycles are much smoother, so you just need to hold over time. So the most important thing is, A, that it cash flows if that's important to you. Not necessarily important to me. I'm more after appreciation. Here in California, it's easier to go after appreciation. But you still need to hold for 10 years. So demographics become super important. You need to know who's moving into the area. Are jobs being created? What public projects are happening in these areas? Local knowledge is very important when investing in any real estate, but super important when you're going to be investing in a piece of real estate that you plan to be on for 10 years or more. Warren Buffett says this about stocks, and I believe the same thing about real estate. If you're not willing to hold it forever, don't even buy it for 10 minutes. I think that's a great piece of advice that we could apply to any kind of investment. So we thank you for joining the National Real Estate Cafe. Find out more by going to our YouTube channel. Go to donandgino.com, click on the YouTube channel, and subscribe below.